Hello, welcome to my video about the React exercise. I'm going to be going over the code here. See, we have several folders that's needed to run this. Inside that we have some JSON folders, some images, our fav icon, and then of course our code index.js, a little bit of CSS, and then our body, which is our HTML. You can see inside the terminal here we are running on localhost 3000. npm is running, and we are in the browser in a separate window here. I'm going to start off with the first question about the relationship between Square, board, and game. These are all React components. Inside Square, we have our button. Board, we have our squares, and then game renders those boards with the placeholder value. Then question 2 talks about passing props in React, information flow from parent to child, and explain how this is true of the value prop. What does it mean in React to be a parent component? Okay, so then here we have a class board, which is a child. We are extending React.component, which is a parent. And inside that we have constructor props and then parent constructor passing in props as well. Okay. Number 3a, how should a constructor deal with props? Well, we're doing that by passing it to a super. We're going to call the super, and in that case, that's React component. So yeah, we're dealing with the props as arguments inside of this over here. 3b, what should not be called inside a constructor? We never want to call the state of anything inside a constructor. We want to use setState. 3c, should state have properties set from props? Obviously no. I just mentioned that we want to use the setState to update the property. 3d, what does the article say about constructors and subscriptions to API? It says not to do it. When a constructor is not needed, so you can see here function square is not needed. We're not messing with the state of anything. And even to further expand on this, so we're calling the state here, and then that's it. It's a question further in the Word document here, but we're using the dot slice to create a copy. So other than this right here, the state doesn't change. We're just changing the state of a copy after that. So we never want to directly change anything outside of that. Okay, if we haven't installed React DevTools, okay, so yeah, I did install the React DevTools. I'll demonstrate that now. So you can see here's my code. I do have React DevTools here, and if we click on components, we can then see the props and the state here of all our squares. And our isNext is false because we do have a winner right up here. Okay. Moving on, after completing the tutorial, how does the board know when a square has been clicked? We do that through the onClick, in this case the this.props.onClick. And then question 6 asks me to consider a line of code about the class name square onClick. It says, how does the parameter I get passed to handle click? And we do that again through setState. Question 7 asks, each line of code explain handle. Okay, so handle click down here. We have our const squares, so we're declaring that squares equals this.state.squares.slice, which then creates a copy that we can modify. We have our logic here, if winner squares or squares I. So pretty much if somebody wins or all the squares are gone, then we're going to end it. That's the winner. Okay, unless after that, otherwise we're going to be passing in X or O, and then setting that state with X or O. And if isNext is true, then we're going to keep playing. So if we have empty squares, pretty much keep playing. And if not, then we're going to go through this and declare a winner. This condition will be met right here, and then we will have a winner. All right, explain each line of code. Okay, I did that. The square component is changed to function. Oh yeah, I did touch on this earlier. So if we're not doing anything with this state, we don't need to actually have a constructor. Since function is not doing that, then it's not needed up here. Okay. Why does the tutorial assert that immutability is important? From what I gather, immutability is important because it takes complex, it makes complex things a little bit more pure, and it could avoid data mutations. It also allows us to keep previous versions of the application intact. So like I mentioned before, we don't have to actually change the state. We could do that up here, and then from there we just make the copy. And then it just makes things a lot easier, a lot cleaner, and keeps keeps the application intact. Final question is, the component square was turned into a function component when its state was lifted to board. Can board be turned into a function component? And again, going back to what I just said, no, because we are changing the state. We are creating the copy here. So no, we have we cannot do that if we're changing state. So that is a no. I believe that concludes this video. Thank you.